Let's go.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I am here with Akash Bajnath from ANK. Hey, thanks for joining me. Akash is the regional sales manager for ANK out of Eastern and Southern Africa. Today, we are going to talk all about Southern Africa, safaris and experiences there are to do there. Akash has a wealth of information and experience here, and it's going to be an amazing presentation to learn all about safari and many other activities you can do while in this region of the world. So thank you, Akash, for joining me today.
Thanks, Darby and Tom. Thank you so much for having us, and thank you to everyone who's going to be watching this recording. I promise you I've got some really amazing stuff to share with you about our part of the world. So as Darby said, my name is Akash. I'm the regional sales and marketing manager for Abercrombie and Kent, East and Southern Africa. So I'm based in Johannesburg, but I represent the entire region for our company. So everything from Kenya all the way down to Cape Town in South Africa. So really beautiful, amazing part of the world. And I'm really fortunate to be able to share our amazing destinations with all potential travelers looking to do something different and amazing. And today is all about just giving you a taste of what our destinations are all about. So today we're going to be focusing a bit on Southern Africa and talking a bit about the experiences there. When people think about our part of the world, they always think about the bush, the animals, nature, and that's what we have. And it's really amazing. But over and above that, we've also got really unique and amazing experiences in each individual destination as well. So today I'm going to take you on a small, quick journey through all of these destinations and just show you a bit about what Southern Africa is all about. So just as a quick recap, Southern Africa is made up of 6 countries, which is Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Mozambique, and South Africa. So that's a total of 6 countries that make up Southern Africa. And today we're just going to explore a bit about what each one has to offer. So I wanted to kick off firstly by just talking about some of the generic experiences that people traveling in our part of the world will sort of naturally get when they visit any of our destinations. Okay? So these are some of the stuff that you'll get to see no matter where you are. You're pretty much going to be able to get these experiences. So number one is, of course, the game drive experiences, getting out into the bush, getting into an open vehicle and going and looking for animals, getting those amazing shots, getting up close and personal with them. So that safari experience is something that you're going to get in and around the areas. But over and above that, there's other experiences that come with the safari experience. Number one is a lot of the camps and lodges have beautiful private plunge pools. There's something called Boma dinners, which is on the bottom left corner here. And so this is an open air type of dining experience. Guests will come in. There'll be dining that's done open in the open air. We'll have other guests coming through as well. Beautiful lighting in and around, and then you get to eat some local meats as well, some local food, some Western food. Really is a fantastic experience. And then you got private dining experiences. So we can do a lot of private dining experiences on the deck of your own room as well. Beautiful bush massages out there as well. And then sleep out experiences, which is something very unique and amazing to do.
Yeah, that is unique. That would be a little
it's not for the faint-hearted. That we've had a lot of experiences where guests wanted to sleep out in the wild, perfectly safe, but just being out there in the middle of the bush, and then you hear the trumpet of an elephant or the roar of a lion. We've had a lot of guests, radio for the guides to say, look, come and pick me up, bring me back to camp. So yeah, I haven't had the chance to personally do it myself, but I've heard of some really interesting stories.
Yeah, I imagine it would be amazing.
Yeah, that other stuff you also can do. I mean, when you do the safari experience, one of my favorite things is the sundowner stops, the sundowner drinks that you get to do. Yeah, while you're out and about on an afternoon safari, you'll come to a point where you'll stop, you'll get off the vehicle, get to stretch your legs a bit, have a few drinks. So like gin and tonics and amarulas are really popular when you're out doing the experiences. And then you get to have, a few snacks, something biltong, which is basically similar to beef jerky that you get in the US, but super, super tasty. You get to have some of those local treats as well.
Nice.
some fruits, some nuts, and then just taking, what Africa is all about, get to watch the sunset. And you actually get to do this experience twice. You get to do it in the morning. So when you're doing a morning game drive, you'll do a tea coffee stop. And then when you're doing the afternoon game drives, you'll get to do one of the drink stop as well. For me personally, I like the afternoon game drives because then I can have a beautiful gin and tonic, watch the sun go down, and I'm more of an afternoon person as opposed to the morning person.
Right. It looks amazing.
And then you've got really an exciting experience, which is walking safaris. So you get to head out with a local guide, and then you walk the bush, and it is a pretty amazing experience. It can be a bit surreal for you to be like, wow, I'm actually walking out in the wild, and then you're coming across wild animals as well. Something really incredible. And then hot air ballooning. I've got to do hot air ballooning, not in Southern Africa, but in East Africa 2 months ago in the Masai Mara, and boy, was it such a memorable experience. But yeah, all in all, these are experiences that you normally sort of get when you're out in our part of the world, and it's stuff that will be generally sort of included when you're staying in at a game lodge or a camp. The certain activities, for example, like the hot air ballooning, which will be an additional activity that you pay for. But other than that, your walking safaris and all your game drives and stuff are all pretty much included in your package when you're out in these destinations.
Great.
Cool. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to jump over into some of the other countries and sort of talk about what's unique to those destinations. So I want to start off with Zimbabwe and Zambia, and I put these two destinations together purely because they share something phenomenal, which is called the Victoria Falls. So the Victoria Falls is something that everyone wants to go and see when they're in this part of the world. It really is something phenomenal. The falls itself is over a mile in length. And so it's shared between Zimbabwe and Zambia, and it's really, really stunning. It's when it's in a full flood, which is generally in early parts of the year, so over February, really absolutely stunning. The falls that start to dry out in lower season, so to around November or so, the falls actually is only prevalent on the Zimbabwe side of the falls. So that's something maybe just a tip to keep in mind, something to remember. So in peak season, in peak flood, which is February, the falls is in complete flood. But then as you start to move towards low water season, the falls actually start to dry from the right-hand side in this picture, which is the Zambia side. And so the curtain of water slowly recedes towards the left. So just keep that in mind. If the Vic Falls is something that you always want to see, and you want to see it in its full glory and full flood, then you definitely want to be traveling to see it around, late January, February into March, April, where the falls are pretty much in good flood. All right, so that's one of the unique things that you're going to be able to see when in Zimbabwe and Zambia. Other than that, Zimbabwe and Zambia is known for its amazing safari experiences. You've got the Wangi National Park there, which is known for its huge concentration of elephants. And so besides the Victoria Falls, it's a full-on safari experience that you're going to be spending a lot of time in this part of the world. Interestingly enough, in Zambia were actually the pioneers of the walking safaris. That's where walking for safaris were initially started, and then over time slowly started to spread to the rest of East and Southern Africa.
Nice,
so
right.
We've got
there's so much to do in all of these destinations that you could take a week, 5 days in each country and see something different.
Be fully engaged and have so much to do and so much to see, and that's what's really phenomenal about these destinations. Yeah, so when in Zimbabwe, Zambia as well, around the Vic Falls area, Vic Falls is actually an adventure capital as such of our part of the world, because there really is so many things to do. So, something I absolutely love is going out and doing sunset cruises on the mighty Zambezi River. It's just so relaxing. You're just cruising down the river. You've got a cocktail in hand. You hear the beautiful cry of the fish eagle. There's whitewater rafting. For those who love fishing, the tiger fishing is absolutely phenomenal. Some of the best in the world. There's local philanthropy projects as well, so you can visit local villages, get to engage with local people, look at the local arts and crafts that they make as well. There's canoeing. And something which I highly recommend is actually doing, a flight. It's called the Flight of Angels, where you do a helicopter flight over the Victoria Falls. but it's just something that you just got to do just to be able to encapsulate what the Victoria Falls is about. Get to see, from high up above how huge the mighty Zambezi River is. And there's other things like bungee jumping, zip lining. So for
the
those
swing too, isn't
those,
there?
yeah, the swing is there as well. So
yeah.
for those guests who love adventure and activity, you definitely want to get out into this area.
The canoeing looks amazing there.
Yeah, canoeing is also beautiful, really stunning. Lots of experiences in terms of canoeing.
Yeah, so there's really something for every type of traveler. Traveler that wants to be relaxed and it's a little more reserved, to someone that wants the adrenaline rush like every day. You can get that.
Definitely, and then you can get it just only in one destination or across Southern Africa as well, because a lot of people, when they travel to our part of the world, they don't do just one country. They'll do at least 2 or 3, and so they'll hop around. And that's the great part, is that being able to hop around is that we've got something for every type of travel.
Right.
So next we're going to jump into Namibia. And Namibia actually, pre-COVID, was actually one of those trending destinations. It was just becoming so popular. And for me, I personally love Namibia because of its desolation. And also it's so different to the rest of our destinations in Southern Africa. It's dominated by the deserts and dunes, which is really unique to every other country that we have on offering from our office.
Yeah, very different landscape.
Yeah. Have you been to Namibia at all, Darby?
No, I have not been to Africa at all yet.
Oh,
I know, I'm getting there. I'm gonna get these kids through high school, and then I'm on my way.
So Namobia is really phenomenal in terms of the offering that it's doing. So one of the big things that we love having guests do there is tracking black rhino, which is available at one of the camps. You've got something called the Skeleton Coast, and the Skeleton Coast is really this amazing coastline where you've got the desert and the dunes meeting the harsh Atlantic Ocean. It's just phenomenal to see water stand in such an amazing topography. It's really beautiful. You've got the Himba tribe that's also native to Namibia, so you'll only find them in Namibia, nowhere else on the continent. And one of the unique experiences is horse riding in the desert as well. Really is something unique and different that we can offer guests in the region. Over and above that, you've got some adrenaline activities. So you got ATV experiences. And for me, when I did this in Namibia, for me, till this day, there hasn't been an ATV experience that has topped the one that I've done in Namibia. It's really stunning. They take you out and you start off on these little small dunes. And then as you go further in and get more confidence, they take you on these bigger dunes until a point where you're getting onto these huge, massive dunes and you're just riding up them and you're flying back down them. Totally phenomenal.
Wow, amazing.
One of the unique stuff about Namibia as well is you get to do an experience where you get out to go out and learn about the desert adapted creatures and how they survive in these harsh conditions. And then you get to learn about them in terms of their camouflage.
Are they feeding that? Is that one being fed?
Yeah, that one's the guy's got a spider on his hand there, and then you've got it just grabbing a meal directly off his hand. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
amazing.
really different. I mean, you've got game drive experiences in Namibia as well. And then you got the flyover safari experience as well. So, as much as you in the destination and you're traveling on land, being able to glide over Namibia and take in the vastness of it, the desolation of it, being able to see the dunes from high up above is a completely different experience as well. And that's something also we love to do. And in most cases, what we do is we do fly drive packages for our guests. So we get them driving in between the dunes and across the land, but also at the same time, in certain areas, flying over the destination, getting a different perspective of what the destination is all about.
Right.
Then moving over from the very dry to the very wet is Botswana. Now, Botswana is known for the flooding of the Okavango Delta. It's actually something very phenomenal. Just to quickly explain how it works is that in neighboring Angola, right, you get absolutely heavy rains for 3 months of the year, which is January, February, March, and sometime into April as well. And this heavy rains falls in the highlands of Angola. And it actually takes 3 months for this water to make its way down and then eventually flood into the Okavango Delta. Now we're talking here billions of liters of water that is making its way from one country, taking 3 months and then eventually flooding into the Okavango Delta. And that's what's actually phenomenal. And what's interesting is that this water actually comes into the Delta starting from around mid-May. It starts to fill up and is around till around late August or so before it starts to dry up as well. And it's phenomenal because you've got this flooding that's taking place in a country that's actually in winter where there's no rainfall, but there's flooding taking place. And, it's pretty phenomenal. And we're talking
about— And that's
about
when the animals migrate. Do they start migrating before?
So I mean, you've got, what's interesting is that it starts to, because the water's coming in, it starts to concentrate animals into pieces of land. Because you've just got water just being surrounded. But what's also phenomenal is that when this water comes in, you've then got these little islands that are being created throughout the entire destination. And when the waters come in, you then have a new experience that's available, which is called Mokoro trips. So Mokoros are local dugout canoes made by local people. And you basically get into these and then you just make your way across the waterways, just exploring and seeing wildlife. And it's amazing because it's different. You're not in a safari vehicle. Here you're in a boat, right? And when you jump out of a safari vehicle, you leave behind the structure of a safari vehicle. You leave behind the engine noise of a safari vehicle. And it was one of those experiences where you feel so completely immersed and close to nature because you're literally just gliding across water and it's absolutely silent. All you can hear is nature. And you're so close to the water, you're so close to the animals. It is an unbelievable experience. And just every single sound of nature, you can hear it because you're in a boat and you're just gliding across water and it's completely quiet. So this is something that we absolutely do put guests onto and experience when they're in the area. And it's something absolutely unique to this destination.
And you don't want to get out of the boat, right? You can't get out. You don't want to get out of the boat.
So depending where you are, I mean, some areas get a bit more deeper where you've got permanent sort of waterways and such, and you've got hippos in there.
Yeah.
But the guides are exceptionally well trained. They know how to handle situations, and there haven't been any situations whereby guests have been put at risk in any way. It still is heart thumping because you know that there's hippos around. But I promise you, guests are always in great hands when they're traveling with us. But this is something really amazing and unique. Something also we do a lot in Botswana when we're in the destination is doing helicopter flips or flights over the Delta. And this basically gives clients the opportunity to see what this flooding is all about. And really is mind-blowing to imagine that such a huge area is actually being flooded by water, and makes you actually stop to think how much of rainfall has actually fallen and how much of this water has actually traveled such a long way to be able to flood into this massive area. But it's really cool. We love to do little helicopter stops on these temporary made islands. So we do champagne stops. We've had a number of wedding proposals take place as well on these trips. So something, it's a must-do experience when guests are out in the Delta, especially over the season when it's flooding.
Amazing.
Okay, and then further down south, there's an area called the Makadikari Saltpen. So this is where we like to take guests out as well. They can do the meerkat interaction, so go and see these little critters and see how interesting they are. Do ATV experiences across the shimmering salt pans, and then something really, really unique is to visit and engage with the local Khoisan people, who still live in their nomadic ways from hundreds of years ago. And it's really interesting to see how they survive and how they live, and not being exposed to technology. It really is something unique and phenomenal.
Yeah, it must be amazing to get really immersed in the culture of the people. That's another way to see destinations is when you visit with the people and the natives that live there.
You just connect to the destination in a different way, and you learn. You learn so much more. That's something really fun.
Definitely.
And now we're going to jump to South Africa. So in terms of South Africa, I think the one thing I love about South Africa, and I know I'm being biased because I'm South African, but South Africa has this diversity of experiences, which really is truly phenomenal. And it's one of those destinations where if clients want to see and do as much as they can, but they don't want to be jumping into different destinations, then I'll say, hey, look, South Africa is going to be the cream of the crop for you in terms of varied experience.
Right.
So the one thing I often like to have guests do is when they come into South Africa, in most cases, guests arrive in Johannesburg due to flight connectivities. But when they're in Johannesburg, I'd love to encourage them to just spend an extra day or two in Johannesburg and just do the cultural aspect of it in terms of connecting with the destination, going out to the Apartheid Museum. And the Apartheid Museum is important because, when you go to the Apartheid Museum, you see the struggles of what South Africans have been through. You learn about the history. When you're out and about in the destination, you just automatically sort of connect better with people,
right?
Because you understand the destination better. And so it gives you a very good grounding when you arrive in the destination. And then we get you out into areas. We'll put you on these little tuk-tuks, and we'll take you to areas like Soweto, which is a huge township in South Africa, very, very instrumental towards the reversing of apartheid, and we'll get clients into the heart of it, whereby they'll actually be driving through the narrow alleyways of the streets in where people live, the actual squatter camps as well. So here it is, it's a really immersive experience. We'll take you to the local butcheries, show you what people eat. You can do a little tasting session there as well. But then we'll take you through to Vilakazi Street, where you've got the likes of Mandela's actual home that he lived in while he was there. Desmond Tutu as well. Get to see those homes, and then just explore and understand the culture of South Africa. Take this on graffiti tours, and get to see and understand, how people express themselves through art in the various areas of the destination as well. So always love getting clients to ground themselves and connect to the destination by doing something in Johannesburg before handing off to the safari experience, and then over to Cape Town and the winelands and etc. as well.
Nice.
So Cape Town's one of those really beautiful cities. It's held the title for best city in the world for 3 years in a row. The results have just came out for 2022. Cape Town's moved to the third place, if I'm not mistaken. So Barcelona was first place, Sydney took second place, and then Cape Town took third place. But it doesn't, Cape Town as destination doesn't fall short in terms of its offering.
No.
It's phenomenal. It's won for first place for many years in a row. And I just love Cape Town. I mean, I live in Johannesburg, but if I had the opportunity to move to Cape Town, I would so in a heartbeat.
Right.
Cape Town's just at every angle you look at, Cape Town's just beautiful.
Right.
And one of my favorite things when I take my family to Cape Town is to drive Cape Town. And driving Chapman's Peak is one of those amazing things. You've got this beautiful coastal road that just hugs the mountainside, and you just got curve after curve, bend after bend, and after each one you round, the view just almost gets even more beautiful and more amazing. Nice. This is something that I have to do every time I'm in Cape Town. So Chapman's Peak Drive is an absolute must when in the destination. And eventually, when you make your way down Chapman's Peak, you get to a point to Cape Point. Absolutely picturesque, beautiful. It's a lot of people mix it up for being the most southern part of the African continent. That's actually Cape Agulhas. Cape Point is actually the most southwestern part of the continent, but really beautiful. And on the picture on the right-hand side here, you can see, this is basically Cape Point itself, and there's a little lighthouse on the top there. But from there, there's a lighthouse at the very tip of this peninsula as well. And for those who are a bit more adventurous and like hiking and stuff, there's a trail that you can do, that you can walk all the way down to the very tip and back. It'll take you about a 1 hour return walk. It's not a very difficult walk, but for those who want to do something unique and get out to the very, very tip of Cape Point, that's something really nice for them to do. Okay. Then the food experience. Now, the food experience in Cape Town really is off the top. It really is a melting pot of so many different cultures and religions. And when people are in this part of the world, they really are spoiled for choice. So, you've got something called the Cape Malay people, and they do these really amazing curries, boboties, but then you've also got the international scene. So fish and chips also, Cape Town being a coastal city, the fish and chips is really, really amazing. You want to
nice
when you're in the destination, and then you got, the French influence, the Italian influence. There's so many different food styles and types that are available in the area. And when we got our clients in the area as well, we take them out. But sometimes on certain days, we like to skip the busy restaurants and take clients out on secluded, picnic spots or secluded beaches and do gourmet picnics for them. We'll set them up and do amazing, cheese boards, locally made wines, gin and tonics, fruits, and just getting clients to enjoy the environment, but at the same time having an amazing gourmet picnic as well. And we've got a chef called Chef Nikki Gibbs, and she supplies us with our gourmet picnics. And it's just a phenomenal experience to be out and about in this area. Then, of course, you've got the winelands. Sorry, Darby?
It looks wonderful.
Absolutely stunning. And in terms of touring as well, we've got really unique and different ways to get clients out and about. So, for those who want something a bit more adventurous, a bit more fun, we love putting clients onto the Cape sidecars. So these are all World War II bikes that have been refurbished, revamped, and had sidecars attached to them. And so here what we do is that we can take clients out on a 2-hour tour, a half-day tour, a full-day tour out on the Cape sidecar. So guests will have a driver guide who will drive the bike. The guests will jump into the sidecar. They'll be given leather jackets, bandanas, helmets, goggles, and then off they go exploring Cape Town. And this is a really fun way.
That's a nice way to see it.
It's a fun way to get out and about. And what's really nice is that because you're in a small vehicle, do something of interest, you just tap your driver's hand and say, hey, look, let's pull off here. And then you can quickly pull off. You don't need big parking areas, take a few photos, jump in the sidecar, and then off you go again. So this is something really fun that we love to offer.
Amazing.
And then other activities, beyond what I've already spoken again, there's horse riding activities on Noordhoek Beach. There's shark cage diving experiences, whale watching. The Cape Floral Kingdom has more species and diversities of plants than the Amazon jungle. So we can take clients out onto those type of experiences. Canoeing or kayaking out into the ocean, stand-up paddle boarding, ATV experiences on the coastlines as well. There really is so much to see and do. And, you still got Table Mountain where you can hike up Table Mountain instead of doing the cable cars as well. You can abseil down the side of Table Mountain. Lots to do from an adventure activity.
And Akash, what's the best time to be there to be able to do the shark cage diving? Because there's certain times of the year where the ocean's just rough and it's harder to get it in.
So it's generally your winter time where you have the best shark cage diving experiences where the water is really cold. So the sharks are traversing between our coastline and Australia. So the best time to do it is over actually the winter periods where the waters are really cold and they're sort of migrating back to as well. But if you don't get to see the great whites, you've got other sharks there that aren't migratory and still are hanging around. So you still get to and see those as well. And then the winelands. So the winelands is unique not only to South Africa, but the entire African continent. It's an area that you can come and get to see. And the winelands also as well. It's amazing to just be able to get out there. Beautiful, just picturesque. Wherever you go, so many different wineries. You've got something called the wine tram where you're able to get in about it. It's made up of a routing that's made up of buses and these wine trams. And you basically be jumping between wineries the entire day, getting to experience, taste different wines. When you get there, different pairings with mussels, with cheese boards, with fruit platters, different breads, olives. Absolutely stunning. And when you're in this area, it's not only about the wine. You can go out and do little Segway tours as well. You can go hiking in the valleys. You can also do sip and cycle. So you can get bicycles and then you can get onto bicycles and then from there you just cycle from one vineyard to the other as well. So
that sounds
lots
great.
of stuff. There's amazing artwork and sculpture at most of the vineyards as well. So wherever you go, you're getting to see such different and unique art pieces as well. So,
yeah, and you can really be out in nature if you don't want to, be on the tram.
Absolutely, you're constantly in the outdoors all the time.
Amazing.
And then just to wrap up, we've got amazing beach destinations as well. So Mozambique is one of the countries that we use a lot to finish off our clients' bush or safari experience. We often tell people, as much as you think about our destinations, you can actually do a combination of a bush and beach, or a safari and sea itinerary. You know, we've got the beautiful waters of the warm Indian Ocean islands. So you've got Mozambique, have stunning beaches. You've got the likes of Mauritius. You've got Zanzibar. You've got Seychelles. You know, really high-end, top-class beach experiences that you can wrap up your experiences with. And we often tell people, you know, if you haven't been on safari before, you know, it can be a bit of a harsh experience on your body because you're out on tough terrain and you're constantly bouncing around in your vehicle. And if
and you're up early too, an early day and long days, right?
Long days. And so, you know, your body does take a bit of a toll. And, you know, the last thing you want to do is to get back on a flight back home and you're still not fully relaxed. And so we say the best way to finish off your safari experience is to finish off with a few days relaxing on the beach, having a few cocktails, taking in the sun, you know, just letting your body regroup again. And then when you're getting back in that flight back home, you know, you can say, I had a fantastic time. I'm feeling so relaxed and I'm ready to get back to what I normally do on a daily basis.
Right. Except for I imagine that some people don't want to ever come back. From what I hear, that once you visit Africa, it's just life changing, you know, from your soul. So.
And that Darby is for me a whirlwind tour through Southern Africa, just give you a taste of what our destinations are about. You know, there's a lot more that we can talk about and go into detail, but I just wanted to just give you the gist of, you know, some of the amazing stuff that we can do. And I do want to touch quickly on terms of the camps and lodges. You know, we have really high-end luxury stuff available out there to a point whereby, you know, guests are absolutely blown away in terms of not realizing that the level of luxury that exists out in the bush.
Right.
And when I talk about the level of luxury, I mean, there's a new property that opened last year. And if you look at the daily rates in peak season, you're looking at around $3,500 per person per day. You know, that's the level of luxury that we can go up to. So we've got different levels. We've got, you know, lodge type experiences where you've got a fixed roof over your head, where you can stay in luxury tents. All right. So you've got a canvas over your head, but inside it's still luxury, still beautiful beds, all your amenities that you'd want from a comfort perspective, but you're staying in a tent. So there's a wide variety of choices in terms of accommodation. We always suggest that guests do a combination of both, as opposed to just doing only one style dish, so they get the true feel of it. But yeah, we've got something for every type of traveler and every level of spend as well. So yeah. That's it
well, thank you. I know A&K offers, you know, a breadth of, you know, different lodges and things, you know, for, you know, more, you know, luxury class, but I know that there's, you know, travelers that, you know, think they might not be able to, you know, afford an A&K, you know, safari, but I think, you know, there is options, so many options out there that, you know, we want everybody to be able to experience, you know, Africa.
Yeah.
You know,
you know, A&K has a reputation for doing high-end luxury stuff, which we do, and we do it well. I promise you, we do a lot of 4-star product as well. We've got great product. Our buying power is exceptionally strong. We've got access to all the pay stay deals. So you know, pay 2, stay 3, and we combine those with other properties that have deals. And so, you know, you could easily do a 9-night package, and if we connect all the right packages together, you could get 2 to up even 3 nights free on your entire itinerary based on what we put together. So most definitely we can assist.
Yeah, I've had, you know, travel advisor friends that have traveled with A&K, you know, on safari, and they say it's the only way to go because they are taken care of. You know, you guys live in the destination, you know the destination, your offices, you have the offices there. So that's what I want my clients to experience, is being well taken care of in a destination where, you know, you want to make sure it's safe, you know, where, you know, the guides are reputable, and you are
always know where you are. And yeah, we take care of everything. You get here and focus on having a great time. We take off everything else in the back end.
Great. Well,
Darby, are you there? I seem to have lost you. Darby? All right. Well, I think we lost Darby, but guys, I'm just going to say, yeah, farewell to you if you're interested.
Okay.
Hi there.
You stopped it, now it's recording again.
It cut off.